morning from Great Yarmouth. Just running by the beach as the sun's coming up, which is very nice. So yeah, Tuesday morning, I just doing my easy run, probably about 40 minutes or so in Great Yarmouth. So I'm here for work this week and then Kings Lynn later in the week. So yeah, it should be a good one. And I did realise last week I didn't really get much actual running content, so it was a lot of me talking. And although I had a breakthrough in trying to figure out how to overlay Strava text, which I think really added to last week's video, I had a few positive comments from friends about that. I'm going to make an effort this week to try and capture a bit more actual on the run footage and try and overlay some of the Strava and Garmin Connect stats over top of that. So yeah, we'll start with a roundup of this week so far. So last night's run was my usual sort of steady run of the week. I usually try and put one steady run in a week where I'm running at like still a comfortable pace, but not really an easy run pace, just pushing it a little bit quicker. So this week I usually run with my good friend Sam, who is in fact a top elite distance runner. So for her, my sort of 7-minute mile low steady pace is very much an easy run. So I had a good catch up with Sam last night and did 9-mile steady run before she this weekend she'll be running Valencia half. So it's in good shape to go well there and maybe even improve on her already really quick PB of 68 minutes. So yeah, good luck to Sam at the weekend. And yeah, I'll check in later with some more roundups later in the week. Good morning and happy Friday from Kings Lynn. So more specifically the Walks, which is a park that I did my session in last night and I did last week too. It's like a 1-mile loop that they use as a free lap course for parkrun here. It's fairly flat and off traffic, fairly well lit. So yeah, it's a good place to run. I just wanted to come here because I didn't want to think about planning a route too much this morning, so I'm just going to run a couple of loops of this and get back and change before work. So a roundup of running from when I last checked in. So Tuesday morning was a similar run to this, just an easy 40 minutes. That was at Great Yarmouth, Galston-on-Sea, by the beach there. It was quite nice to get out and see the sea that morning as the sun was coming up, so it was a lovely run, that one. Wednesday I had a busy day work-wise and had to travel to Kings Lynn. It's about an hour and a half drive from there, so I didn't get out Wednesday. I knew I was probably going to take a rest day or two this week, with it only being a couple of weeks, just over a week now until Frankfurt marathon, so I'll be looking to get into taper mode. So Thursday's session was an interval session. I'd normally do a little bit more volume in an interval session, but I did 6 for 3 minutes this week with static recoveries. So I just stood, paused my watch and took around roughly 90 seconds each one. Wasn't completely counted because I was just doing it manually on my watch and I couldn't see the rest screen while I paused it, so they were around about 90 seconds, got 6 of them 3 minutes done. A good little run. So yeah, today's just trying to flush that session out, and I'll travel back up quite a bit driving tonight and look to do So more of a tempo session on Saturday. There's probably something similar to what I did last weekend. I might do like a 2 mile one rather than a 5K. Just as because I'm only a week out from a marathon, I do want to keep the intensity in there for taper week, but just reduce the volume a bit. So cutting out a bit of these miles that just build a bit of endurance and focusing on the speed work, just keeping that same intensity in my legs, but my legs should be feeling a bit fresher by the end of the week and ready for the marathon. So I'll check in again soon. Checking in again on Saturday, so it's actually Saturday afternoon now and I'm on my morning run. It's just been one of those days where if you don't get out first thing in the morning, I always end up finding that my run just gets put back to the end of the day because of things cropping up. So yeah, finally out there, and a bit of a disaster in terms of I was going to do a session but my watch battery is a bit dead, so it wouldn't last for length of the session. I was going to do something like either 3 per 10 minutes or 2 per 2 mile tempo, just a little short tempo session because it's only 8 days to go into Frankfurt now. But yeah, it's just a steady run instead because I'm having to use my phone and the Strava app to just log my run today, so I'll get no split times whatsoever. So yeah, just over 7 mile run, and I've got a 12 mile easy-ish run tomorrow with a few friends on the plough trail, so I'll check back in tomorrow. But before I do, quick shout out to Tom, Laura and little baby Edie who'll be watching. Hopefully put it on around about Edie's nap time, so I'm sure the detail on the split times will send her to sleep for you, Tom. Check in again. It's now Sunday evening, just checking in again with some stats from the weekly roundup. So in total, in terms of mileage, I've done 42 miles, split across mainly easy running, and I did one session that was about 6 per 3 minutes on the Thursday evening there. So yeah, it's been a good week for the first week of my taper, so I have been making a conscious effort to keep the intensity in there with the session, but also to drop the mileage a little bit from the runs in between, because I don't need that endurance that has been built up from the start of the block, and I need to get the freshness back in my legs for next week and for next Sunday. So it's actually next Sunday, which is the Frankfurt Marathon. So I've been really pleased with how the training block's gone. Not just these past 6 weeks that I've been vlogging, but I also did a 18-week block, which is slightly longer than I'd normally do. I'd probably typically do a 12 to 16 week block for marathon distance, but I had 18 weeks was a good starting point where I could build up some base mileage and then go into working on some of the shorter pace stuff, some of the interval sessions, and then some of the long tempo runs, which really help the marathon fitness. So yeah, very pleased with that first taper week. Taper week 2, which is the final week going into the marathon, I'm looking to do around 25 miles worth of running split over the runs in the week. I'm still going to do the one session on maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on how I feel, and just probably something similar again, like 6 per 3 minutes, but just keep that intensity in for the short reps, keep my legs turning over at a good speed, but not have the volume that's going to be in my legs by the time marathon comes. So looking forward to getting my legs back a little bit next week, and then traveling to Frankfurt on Thursday morning. So I'll do the last week in the series for next week, but I'm going to leave you with a clip from our run this morning, which was
nearly 12 miles in an absolute deluge. It didn't stop raining from start to finish this morning on our run, so I've got a clip from that and also a clip from, I've just got back from pizza with Stuart and Jake, so a clip of the pizzas at the end to leave you with. I'll see you again next week.
Brilliant, thank you.